Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Calm with Carlyn, yoga and meditation for your everyday life. Today we have a yoga class for creativity. So we're gonna be working with some different poses, some funky transitions, and get our bodies moving in a really fun way. You don't need any props for class, and we're starting in a wide-legged child's pose. So I'll see you there when you're ready. Let's begin to open the hips in our child's pose. Bring the knees wide on either side of the mat. Bring the big toes to touch and the seat to the heels as you walk the fingertips out long in front of you and bring the forehead down to the ground. And get settled into this space. Be present here and commit to yourself and your time on your mat for these next 15-20 minutes of class. From here, you can scan the body from the head to the toes with your eyes closed, noticing what you feel, any sensations in different areas of the body. Just noticing them as an observer and then gently letting them go as you sink deeper into your hips and your shoulders and deeper into your awareness of your breath. Let's take a cleansing breath together. Breathe in through the nose as you fill up your belly, your chest, and the entirety of your lungs. When you're completely full of breath, pause at the top. And then exhale, sigh the breath out the mouth. Take this to a side body stretch. Keep your right hand where it is. Walk your left hand on top of your right towards that top right corner of the mat as you sink the left shoulder down and the left hip back, feeling a lengthening in the left side of the body. And then when you're ready, take it to the other side. The left hand comes to the top left corner of the mat, and the right hand comes on top of the left, sinking that right shoulder down and the right hip back as you lengthen the right side of the body, sending the breath to every area in the body that we lengthen throughout our practice today, building this awareness of our breath and connecting it to our movement, even when we're in stillness. When you're ready, slowly come back through center. Take one more breath in your child's pose. Maybe you walk those fingertips just 1 extra inch in front of you, lifting the forearms off of the mat, and then taking your time to make your way up to a tabletop position, stacking your shoulders on top of your wrists and your hips on top of your knees. Go ahead and tap the taps of the feet into the ground. Low key feels so good, giving some love to the feet, not something we do very often. And then take the toes to the ground and take your seat on your heels and just take a moment here. Feel the arches of the feet open up. Might get a little bit uncomfortable, but we'll only be here for another breath or two. And then when you're ready, come back to your tabletop position and pose, keeping the lower body still, walking the hands out in front of you as you start to drop the forehead, the chin, or the chest down towards the mat beneath you, keeping the hips nice and lifted and stacked on top of the knees. You're opening through the shoulders rather. And then from here, keep the left hand where it is. Maybe walk it a little bit closer and take that right arm underneath the left, threading the needle from this puppy position, really pressing down into the right shoulder, keeping the hips squared. And then switch out the hands. The right hand will come forward. The left arm will come underneath the right. Pressing down into that left shoulder, keeping the hips square as you reach the right fingertips forward. And then from here, start to make your way back to that tabletop position, this time bringing your hands slightly forward of your shoulders, tucking the toes, and really slowly lifting the hips, staying up on the tippy toes, finding this downward facing dog, taking your gaze in between your thighs, keeping the heels lifted nice and high. Take a big inhale here in this upside down V shape. And on your exhale, let the heels fall down towards the ground. Feel the opening in the backs of the legs. And then take the feet out wide, walk them a little bit closer towards the hands. Take the left arm underneath the right armpit. Grab onto that right ankle, shin, or thigh as you take your gaze underneath the right armpit, finding a twist. Pulling the belly button in, inhaling to lengthen the spine, and exhaling to find this twist. And then switch out the hands. Take the left hand back to the top of the mat. The right hand comes underneath the left armpit, grabbing on to the left ankle, shin, or thigh as you use your breath to twist yourself deeper underneath that left armpit. And then slowly make your way back to downward facing dog. And from your downward facing dog, take an inhale and find a high plank. Hold in your high plank, pressing the ground away from you, keeping a micro bend in the elbows to light up the biceps here. We'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, you have the option to come down to the knees as you come down halfway. Hold in your low plank for 3. For 2, on 1, come all the way down to the belly. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Take an inhale, lift up baby cobra. And on your exhale, find your downward facing dog. Let's get into our flow. Take an inhale, lift the right leg up to the sky. Stack that right hip open and draw some circles with the knee. First circling in one direction 3 to 4 times, and then switching directions, maybe rolling out the ankle as you're here as well. Maybe try and spin or turn rather the ankle and the knee in opposite directions. That's actually pretty crazy hard. And then inhale, come back to your 3-legged dog. Exhale, step the right foot in between the hands and rise up into your high lunge. From this high crescent lunge, take the right hand to the left wrist and take a side body stretch over to the right. Opening up through that left hip flexor, the left side body. Take one more inhale here. And on your exhale, come back to center, fingertips reach. Take an inhale here, and on your exhale, open up to a warrior 2. Maybe you widen your stance here, making sure your right heel is in line with the arch of the left foot. Relax the shoulders, take your gaze over your right middle finger, and just breathe here. From here, take an inhale, straighten through the right leg. Find your Trikonasana triangle pose. Reach the right fingertips forward until you can't anymore. And then take the right fingertips down towards the ground and the left fingertips up to the sky. Staying nice and open here. You have the option to find a bind by taking your left hand around your back and grabbing onto that right hip crease, focusing on the opening in the left shoulder in this Trikonasana. So lots of opening happening here. You're feeling this in the lower body and the left shoulder. You're using your core to hold you up, just breathing here. If you found the bind, take the left fingertips back up to the sky and then cartwheel the hands back as you find your reverse warrior, bending into that right knee. This time opening through the right side of the body. Take an inhale. And on your exhale, cartwheel the left hand to the inside of the right foot. Come high on the left tippy toes and reach the right fingertips up to the sky. Holding here, finding this nice gentle twist. And then we'll take this next transition really slowly. Start to come onto the edge of both feet as you take your right hand towards your left foot. And then from here, start to walk the right foot closer towards the left knee so it's at that 90-degree angle. And you'll let the left hip come all the way down to the ground, facing the back of the mat and stacking, I'm going to come onto my mat here, stacking your right knee on top of the left. So we're in this little forward fold here. We'll first take a twist, inhale, reach up, exhale, twist to your right, taking that left forearm or left hand against the right knee. And then inhale, come back, and exhale, just start to fold forward. So even if you normally touch the toes in this forward fold, having our right knee on top of our left is going to make this even more intense, especially in that bottom left leg. So maybe you don't go quite as far, and that's okay. Even this tiny little hinge that I have right here is really helping me to get into this stretch. Stay here for a couple more breaths. Beautiful. And then take the left foot, bend that in towards the right seat, and now we're in a full cow face pose. Take an inhale here, and on your exhale, you can choose to forward fold if that would feel good. So you're still facing the back of the mat, and we're going to continue to face the back of the mat. Take one more inhale here. If you're already folded, stay where you are. If you're not, start to bring the hands down to the mat. Walk the hands forward and come into your downward facing dog, uncrossing the legs. Take an inhale here. Deep breath out. Other side, let's take an inhale. Lift the left leg up to the sky. Open up that left hip. And then draw some circles with the knee in one direction. And you'll eventually switch directions. And then inhale, lift the left leg back up to the sky and step the left foot in between the hands. Find your high crescent lunge. Fingertips reach up to the sky, grab onto the right wrist with the left hand. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to stretch over to the left side, opening through your right hip flexor, breathing here. Take an inhale, come back through center. Exhale here, one more inhale, and then exhale, open up into a warrior two, facing the back of the mat. Maybe you widen your stance. Your left heel lines up with your right inner thigh. Your shoulders relax, and your gaze comes over your left middle finger. From here, find your Trikonasana, straighten through that left leg. Start to reach the left fingertips forward, 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 and eventually down to the ground as the right fingertips reach up to the sky. Here in your Trikonasana, again, you have the option to take the right hand behind the back, grab onto the left hip crease, and really open up through that left shoulder as you continue to use the core to hold you up and open up through the lower body. If you found that half bind, go ahead and release it, reaching the right fingertips back up to the sky. Rebending into that left knee and cartwheeling the left hand back to find your reverse warrior. Opening up through this left side body. You know where we're headed. Take an inhale here. On your exhale, cartwheel the hands. The right hand comes to the inside of the left foot. The right heel comes high, and the left fingertips reach up to the sky. Really focus on pulling that left hip back to feel that nice stretch as you twist. And then we'll take that transition really slow. We start by coming onto the outer edges of both of the feet, taking the left fingertips towards the right foot. And then from here, start to walk that left foot closer to the line of the right knee, so you've got more of a 90-degree angle. And then from here, you'll come all the way onto the right hip, taking the right toes to point towards the face and stacking the left knee on top of the right. Let's find that twist. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, twist to the left. Beautiful. Take an inhale, come back through center, and on your exhale, start to walk yourself forward. Remember, leave the ego at the door. The forward fold doesn't have to be much here. Even just leaning forward a couple inches is really going to feel pretty spicy in that right leg. So wherever you are, make sure it's a place where you can breathe. I find in my practice when I go into deeper stretches, as soon as I get to a place where I can't breathe anymore, that's how I know that I've gone too far physically. And it's time to take it back, because if you're not breathing in your yoga practice, you're no longer practicing yoga. Take one more full breath here. Stay for your exhale. And then when you're ready, come up to seated. Start to bend into that right knee, taking the right foot towards the left seat, and you're in your cow face pose on the other side. Take an inhale here, and on your exhale, just slowly start to fold forward if you'd like. Staying upright is also going to do wonders for your hip opening here. So just do whatever's comfortable. When you're ready, start to come back up to your seated position, and then we'll unwind the legs. I'm going to come to face the long edge of the mat. You can stay where you are and find your butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of the feet to touch and bring them in close to the pubic bone so that you've got a smaller angle in the legs. You'll take your hands around the feet, sit up nice and tall, relax the shoulders. You can have the eyes open or closed, whatever's comfortable. And from here, just start to take some circles with the neck. Doesn't matter which direction that you're moving, but just notice if it's clockwise or counterclockwise. So I'm starting in a counterclockwise direction. And then from here, go ahead and switch. So I'll move clockwise. If you were already moving clockwise, start to move counterclockwise. Finding this gentle opening in the neck. You might feel the inner thighs opening as well in this butterfly position. And then from here, come to stillness, stacking the ears on top of the shoulders. And let go of the hands. Take the feet out nice and wide. Find your wide-legged forward fold. Take an inhale, reach up. And on your exhale, hinge forward and hold about halfway down. Really feel that opening in the backs of the legs and the inner thighs. Pause here for just another breath. And then take an inhale and lift up. Notice how that felt. Take one more inhale. Exhale, come down halfway, and maybe you take your hands to your heart. Maybe you take a little twist side to side, moving to the right and then to the left. And then come down through center and find your full variation of this forward fold. Notice that taking it slow might have brought you a little bit deeper than you normally go. Maybe not, but just something to observe. And try and keep the spine long here. Avoid the urge to just round through the spine. Keep it nice and long. Keep it in the backs of the legs. Take one more inhale here. And then on your exhale, you'll slowly start to come out of this. And from here, we'll make our way on to our backs. And from your back, we'll start by finding a figure 4. So stacking your left foot on top of your right, opening up through that left knee. You can stay here or you can hug the right knee in towards the face. Feeling that nice opening, keeping a flex in the left foot. So that,
I didn't get that. Could you try
Siri.
again?
Keeping a flex in the left foot so that you're protecting that left knee. Four shape in the legs. Start to move over to the left just a little bit as you bring the left foot down to the right and you grab onto the right foot with the left hand. And then from here, you'll take your gaze over to the left, feeling a different sensation in this twist and also feeling a nice lower body stretch here. And then when you're ready, gently come out of this, coming back to that figure 4 shape, and then switching out the legs. Left foot plants, right foot comes on top of the left knee. You're flexing through the right foot to protect the right knee, and then hugging the left knee in towards the chest from here. Find that nice, gentle hip opening, couple breaths here. And then when you're ready, start to bring the left foot back down to the ground and move the hips over to the left as you start to take the right foot down to the ground. And then kick the left foot in towards the seat, grab onto it with your right hand and take your gaze over to your right. When you're ready from here, slowly start to unwind, coming back to your figure 4 for just a breath, and then hugging both of the knees into the chest, giving yourself one final squeeze. Breathe in deeply through the nose, and on your exhale, let everything go, finding your Shavasana. Just about a minute of rest here to let go, to reset before moving on to whatever comes next in our day. So let go of everything, even let go of the breath, let it return to natural. All you have to do is just be here in this moment and enjoy this rest. Take a deep breath in through the nose, filling up the belly, the chest, and the entirety of the lungs. Pause in the fullness of breath, and then exhale, let everything go. Take your knees to your chest, give yourself another squeeze, and then gently rock yourself up to a seated position, finding a comfortable seat to close out class as we typically do. Bringing the hands to heart center, taking one more deep breath in, and a long breath out. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below. Let me know what kind of class you'd like to see next. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share it with someone you love. Namaste.